Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This channel is a channel that reviews the latest luxury cars. This time I will review the Ferrari Purosangue 2023 debut, 4 doors, 4 seats. Before continuing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. After 3/4 of a century, Ferrari finally launched their first 4-door model. Dubbed the Purosangue, the vehicle is a new member in a lineup that already includes the stylish Roma, the modern 296, the wild SF90, to the luxury 812. Depending on your perspective, it's time for this decision. However, one thing that is interesting, Ferrari distanced itself from the idea that their new model is actually an SUV. "We don't call it an SUV," said the CEO, Benedetto Vigna. "We're not even talking about SUVs. Packaging determined." The Purosangue's configuration does make it look more like a bloated 4-door sports car than a sport utility vehicle. For example, he can only be had with 2 bucket seats in the back, not a family-friendly bench, or hopefully not a 3rd row. Then there's a lot of utility sacrifice in order to accentuate the sporty aspect, confirming that the people at Maranello have absolutely no interest in being crowd pleasers. For starters, its modest 16.7 cubic feet of trunk volume seems to be a reference to the coupe's silhouette, emphasizing aerodynamics over absolute practicality. Ferrari put a great effort into stacking the Purosangue deck for a balanced layout. As such, the massive V12 engine is crammed into the firewall, and the 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox is the rear transaxle, which helps achieve a balance of front-to-rear weight. The carbon fiber roof comes standard to ensure the lowest possible center of gravity. Interestingly, Ferrari settled on a rear-opening passenger door arrangement for the Purosangue, complete with power-closing Bentley Bentayga and Rolls-Royce Cullinan. The rear door opens with a 79-degree swing, which is essential for easy entry and exit, especially since the rear area is not very large. We're not saying it's uncomfortable, but it's not as extensive as other super luxury SUVs either. Ferrari claims the Purosangue stands in a category of its own. However, let's compare its 118.8-inch wheelbase with some competitors. That's similar to the Lamborghini Urus Performant 118.2 and Bentley Bentayga Speed 117.9, but 1.7 inches shorter than the Aston Martin DBX 707 120.5. It falls between the Porsche Cayenne GT 114.0 and the more expansive BMW Alpina XB7 122.2. In terms of weight, Purosangue claims an estimated dry weight of 482 pounds to 1,033 kilograms, possibly the lowest among the competitors. Old school power, modern control. Purosangue doesn't use an eco-friendly drivetrain at all, at least not yet. He used a conventional setup with a naturally large 6.5-liter V12 unit producing the highest output in Ferrari GT history, 715 horsepower and 528 pound-feet of torque. That engine produces 80% of torque at just 2,100 revolutions per minute, peak power at 750 revolutions per minute, and a maximum rotational speed of 8,250 revolutions per minute. All of that is mated to a dual-clutch transmission that offers 8 forward gears to choose from. The engine packs a new valvetrain and revised intake geometry, meant to aid low-end power delivery. The Purosangue is estimated to reach 62 miles per hour 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.3 seconds, with a top speed of over 190 miles per hour 308 kilometers per hour. Like the GTC for Lusso, the new model has an all-wheel drive powertrain, and the front drive unit disengages above 4th gear and roars at about 125 miles per hour to 101 kilometers per hour. Although the Purosangue engine sounds familiar, the suspension uses future technology to maximize ride quality and handling. In collaboration with Multimatic, Ferrari developed an active suspension system that utilizes the Canadian company's True Active Spool Valve TASV technology. They use 448-volt actuators to control the damper stroke. Given that this setup lacks a stabilizer bar, the actuators work together to manage pitch and roll. This quick work adjustment is able to regulate wheel movement and ride height, which can drop by up to 10 millimeters when the vehicle is cornering. Separate class. We can talk about specs and dimensions all day long, but sometimes it's the little things that give the answers to riddles like the Ferrari Purosangue. Considering their focus on providing a driver experience for 4 passengers, Ferrari chose to sacrifice a bit of utility for the sake of performance. The automaker didn't even install a tow hook to maintain the Purosangue's position as an on-road machine. For better or for worse, the majority of potential buyers will rate this car more unstyling than any other factor. This is understandable because the initial price of €390,000 Rp 5.80 billion is intended for customers who already have many types of cars in their garage. In terms of color, while titanium silver may not be ideal for a Ferrari, personally the Purosangue still looks elegant, especially the puffy hamstrings that help give the vehicle a sense of motion and emotion. In any case, Ferrari has taken the long-awaited leap forward. And frankly, the Purosangue looks more balanced, refined, and attractive than a series of spy shots of the past. Whether you call it a puffy sedan or an SUV, the fact that it's built with the driver in mind is a good sign for the prancing horse's future. Well, that's the review of the Ferrari Purosangue 2023 debut, 4 doors, 4 seats. I hope it's useful and continue to support this channel by liking, comments, and subscribing. And see you in the next video.